Good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing wonderful. Uh, I'm excited about today's episode. For the ones who know me, my name is Kamalneet Singh. For the ones who don't know me, my name is still Kamalneet Singh. The name doesn't change. And today's episode is very special because it is all about change makers. There are people come, people go, people do their rat race with all due respect to them, which is good. But there are few people who come on this planet and they do something which makes a difference not only in their life but it goes beyond them. you know their life is not only about them, their life is about a lot more about people around them. And I decided that on my show I would want to have some change makers and hear their journey and their aspirations, their mission. What is it that they are up to? What is it that they want to really do? And today with me I have two powerhouses. I have two awesome females who are change makers in the real sense. They're on a mission to make a huge difference. And guess what? They're willing to make this difference at a very young stage, when it really where it that's a place where it really calls for. And let me tell you who I have with me today. I know as an audience you must be thinking that who are they. And so I have with me Lydia Das, who is a seasoned HR professional with 27 years of experience. 27 years is a lot of time. And by the way, ये जो HR वाले लोग हैं, ये सिर्फ hiring firing वाले नहीं होते हैं. These are good people. And once you meet her, you'll get to know. And so 27 years of experience and a lot of diversity, worked in different backgrounds, different MNCs. And she's one of the founders of Motivo. And I'm going to talk more about Motivo. But let me introduce you to the other awesome powerhouse. And she is Rupali Agarwal, and she's an international certified an ICF coach, an international ICF mindset coach, and somebody who is very passionate about making a difference. And she's very keen to make that change at a very young age. So let me also give you a brief about Motivo. So these two powerhouses, वो कहते हैं ना एक और एक 11 होता है. So ये एक और एक 11 हो गए हैं, and these two powerhouses, they have come together to launch something known as Motivo. Now, what is Motivo? Motivo is a youth development organization which is focused on preparing kids about social and emotional thinking, preparing them for the real life. ये मेरे जैसे लोग हैं. Why I say that? Because they want to make a difference to the life of kids, and I am off for the same. And these are real change makers, because what happens is a lot of people do a lot of things, लेकिन बच्चों के बारे में there are very limited people who think about kids. And I'm very happy about the fact that I have these two wonderful guests on my show who are all about kids. They're thinking about kids, and they're really willing to make a difference, and they're already making a difference to the life of kids in the space of emotional development and social development, critical components in the life of kids, right? अब मैं ही बोलता रहूंगा तो ये रह जाएंगे. So let me invite them and on the show, and we take the journey forward. So welcome Lydia, welcome Rupali. Great to have both of you.
Thank you, Kamalneet. Thank you so much.
Great to have you on the show. Now, I know that you have different backgrounds and you have done a lot of things. And tell me one thing. The Motivo, when you speak about Motivo, and I'm happy about the fact that you're thinking about kids and you're doing things for the kids. And so, लेकिन ये जो Motivo है, इसका motive क्या है? What's the I know what you do. I know the work as such, but what's the motive? What's the motive behind?
So, Kamalneet, firstly, I just must thank you for making me feel so empowered already with the way you called us change makers. So, I'm already feeling so empowered. Thank you so much for that. So, I just answering your question, I just want to say something. When I became a certified mindset coach, from day one, I knew that my niche was going to be adolescents, the youth. I sincerely feel that they are the pillars of a future, and somehow my mission was with them. And probably we are not aware that probably 1.2 billion adolescents right now all over the world. And you know what the thing is, we always used to think that the human brain in the early childhood is where it develops the most, but it's nothing like that. There's another round of brain development which starts from the age of 9 to 14 years. And this is the period where the adolescent brain is being exposed to so many things. They're going through the hormonal changes, the sleep pattern changes, they are exposed to sensation seeking, they were prone to risk taking, they want to try newer things. So if you see the whole, the brain of the adolescent brain is changing, and they're simultaneously being faced with a lot of challenges also, like suddenly they are exposed to social groups. Suddenly they disassociate from the parents and they're trying to make identity of their own. Suddenly they are prone to, trying new things. So the challenge is coming and the brain is simultaneously developing. And this is the period, Kamalneet, which is so, so crucial in adolescent's life. If we are to harness the adolescent in the right path now, only wonders and only success lies ahead of them. I really feel that so. And also, I feel it's so crucial for us as a parent and as an educator to, understand that adolescence is what which matters. This is which is going to carve the future for their, future, the friends which they're going to make now, the patterns, the emotional patterns which are going to be formed at this period is going to shape their future. So around this time, I met Lydia over a cup of coffee, and we started talking about this. And we were like, our thoughts really aligned, and we were like, this is the need of the adolescence is what we're going to talk about. And when we started talking, that's how a passion, this passion project Motivo was born. And while we were talking about it, we realized that fostering youth was the dire need of the hour right now, because we have programs talking about education, building the career of the child. But
Right.
what we are not realizing, that adolescence is also a period which is like something we do not want to talk about. The emotional health of the adolescent is also at stake here. There are
And a
challenges,
crucial,
there's
and a very, very
and
crucial,
very crucial,
crucial,
and
right.
they're going through their levels of stress, their levels of anxiety. But we are somehow are not very comfortable talking about it. So when Motivo was born, we said we are going to tap the inherent power of the child. We are going to talk about developing programs for the adolescent, and we are going to co-create with the adolescents. So we are both masters of emotional intelligence, and we thought long and hard that the first program which Motivo was going to or was going to be about emotional intelligence.
Right.
And
So
that's how Motivo
so
was born.
when I'm going through a tough phase and a rough phase, I'm going to come back to both of you because you guys are masters of emotional intelligence, and I'm going to come back seeking help. But what I understand is that so the union happened, over a cup of coffee. So I think CCD is not saying, I'm not branding and promoting them, but then I think CCD is right in saying that a lot can happen over a cup of coffee, and I think Motivo was born over a cup of coffee. Yes, and of course with the passion behind that, and I see that you want to make a difference to adolescents and to young kids, so that whatever they learn at I was hearing, I never knew that the kind of numbers that you were talking about, that's not in my, I did not know those specific facts, but then they're powerful enough to drive anybody to think that it's the need of the hour. So that's one. And so that let me, Lydia, let me come back to you and ask you that, while the coffee meet was happening, uh, what was your idea?
So, we, as Rupali already mentioned, that we thought long and hard. The one thing that we also realized that in India, we shy away from talking about investing in children. The only investment we make is in the form of tuitions, usko math padha de, अंग्रेजी tuition में भेज दे. But we never ever hear a parent talk about कि इनका soft skill develop कर दे. If the child is feeling shy, why is he feeling shy? If the child feels sad or if he is, scared, why? That question, why? And we're also very shy to talk about it because, फिर neighborhood में लोग हंसेंगे, पूछेंगे कि अरे देखो लिड्या की बच्ची is not able to speak. So we are very, very shy to come up with these things, but they forget that how important it is, and that is where the breakthrough that Rupali mentioned, that we want to talk about it. We want to tell you that nothing is wrong with your child. It is just that we have to teach them how to regulate themselves, their emotions, their feelings, regulate their actions according to their feelings. And that's how it all started, Kamalneet. And as Rupali mentioned, very, very passionate about the whole thing.
I can see that. I'm very sure about it, and I think it's a very noble and very fulfilling profession that you have decided to jump in, because you know that with what you do, your work will make a difference not only in their life but maybe in further lives to come, and which I think is definitely missing. So talking about emotional development, and that's what I believe is the first program in the amongst the other programs that you have. So emotional development. So tell me a little more about it. That what is it all about? What will it entail, and how does it work?
So emotional intelligence is something, it's a program which is developed on the concept of Daniel Goleman. He's the propounder of this concept, and he's the founder of this concept.
He's the
And
same man who wrote the book, right? Why EQ is more important than IQ.
Yes, yes, yes. And so this whole story is all about based on the concept. This program is based on Daniel Goleman. And before I get into what emotional intelligence all about, adding to what Lydia said is that uh, over here in India, we are not very comfortable talking about emotions. We are not comfortable talking about the emotional health of the child. But I think this something which every parent, I think, owes it to the child now. And considering the situations we are in right now, if you are not addressing the emotional health of the child, I think it's being an unconscious parent. A conscious parent who's aware of what the situations are and acting accordingly. So just turning a blind eye that emotions are not there, simmering below the child, he's not going through his own fair shares of stress and anxiety, is not being a conscious parent. So that's why that was the first thing I wanted to add about that. Let's not make it a taboo subject. Emotional intelligence is a skill. It's a personal skill. And the more you practice the skill, the better you'll get it. And Motivos formed the first program where they will be a 5-week module, and we have broken it into 4 categories.
It's going to be over 5 weeks.
It's a 5-week module. Yes, it's a 5-week module, and we are based kind of categorized from the age group. So we have an advanced, we have a medial, we have a junior, and we have elementary. So from the age of 6 to 18, we have programs, and we have worked really hard to create this, the emotional intelligence program. And I would like Lydia to add a bit to what this program entails.
This whole program, as Rupali said, is based on Daniel Goleman. He's the psychologist who made emotional intelligence popular. It was found by John Mayer and Peter Salovey, but Daniel Goleman is the guy who made it popular by talking about it. And he says that, IQ is important, EQ is even more important, because IQ takes up 20% of what you do, your happiness, your success, but EQ is the one that boosts it. So it is more responsible for making you successful. So he talks about the 20-80 principles of IQ and EQ. IQ is your reasoning brain, your learning brain, कि जो आप याद कर रहे हो, आप उसको फिर जो रट्टा मार रहे हो, आप उसको फिर बोल रहे हो. But EQ is the feeling brain, okay, where you think about it, what it is all about, you reason, you ask. So that's the concept we dwelt on. And the Daniel Goleman structure based on 4 components, which is self-awareness, where you talk about your own feelings and you discover your feelings. Right. And then we go on to self-management. So you've discovered your feelings, and what do you do about it? How do you regulate it? It's all about self-management. Right. And it's not only about yourself, because we live in the society. So we also need to be socially aware. So we move on to social awareness, where you not only think about yourself, but you also think about the other person. And empathize, put yourself in the other person's shoes and see why they are thinking the way they are thinking. And then, of course, above all, managing relationships. So very, very important. So that's the 4 quadrants: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship. So it's covered over 4 weeks. We start with introduction, we move to self-awareness, then every week. So it covers, the 5 weeks module. And the structure that we follow is it's based on an online module, where the child, is based on videos, worksheets, and interactive sessions. So through the week, the child does a lot of activity and meet up with us once a week over a live sessions with the coaches, which is more to empower them to have peer learning, to, understand each other and what the other person thinks and how they deal with situations. So that's basically the concept that we have worked around.
Wonderful. So there are 4 quadrants, I understand, right?
Yes.
Self-awareness, self-management, managing emotions, and then social awareness.
Social awareness, relationship management.
And relationship management. I think the elements that my mother gave, and she still gives me, they're working well. Yeah. So, okay, got that. And so looks like a comprehensive and elaborate program. And I'm sure it makes a lot of difference. Now, the kids, you said that, the students get to meet you once a week as well. So they get a chance to meet you as well. Once a week, do they get a chance to interact with you?
So that is the USP of a program, Kamalneet. If you see all the programs online, is just like you do your activities within yourself, and like you understand and you do introspect and all of that. But we have gone one step ahead, and we have created an online program. Firstly, we strongly address this need for the parent to help the child, handhold the child while he's doing this activity, because it's working in 2 ways. A, the child is forming a bond, a connect with the mom. And B, while the child is introspecting, is making the mom aware where his nuances are, where his strengths are, where his weaknesses are. So she's also seeing the child for whatever he truly is. Instead of all the expectations with a parent, unconsciously they put on the child, it's all about your, the validation from the teacher. It's all about the degree which you get and all of that. Yeah. This parent is actually seeing the child from within. What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? What motivates him? What are the goals which he wants to aspire for? What are his social skills? What is the skills which he wants to improve? So the mother is also seeing the child from a different light, not from only the marks which he's getting in his maths grade and his English grade, So she's seeing the child for whatever it is. So that is the USP of a program, that we are telling the mother to co-create with the child. And once a week, while they've done all the activities, we meet over a Zoom session. We take them on a breakout. We encourage peer learning. We want to hear their, opinions. What did they feel about this activity which they did? Why did they feel so? Put them in the groups where they are open. The key point of keeping it as a Zoom session was, we want the child to express his emotions.
Got that.
In India, we are not told to express emotions. Either you suppress it. So when you suppress emotions, what happens is, when you grow up as a child, when you grow up as a person, you are in your Facebook and Insta, you're not wanting to make relationships. You want to hide within yourself.
Yeah,
either that, or you are aggressive. Aggressive. When there is a situation you can't handle, guess what you do? You break out into anger, So it's either aggressive or suppressive. What we are telling in Motivo is express your emotions. So this is the USP of a program, that when we get on a Zoom call, we will, kind of co-create with the child to help him express emotions. And after that, beyond the calls, obviously, we are always there to kind of, kind of take the child through this process.
I wish I had, while I was growing up, when you talk about, suppressing and all of that, I have had live experiences in my life, and, I wish I had people while I was in school who I could reach out to and express about my emotions, and which I think is actually missing. But you were talking about the relationship between the mother and the child talking about the emotions and expressing, and talking about the parents. I heard you talking about that. So Lidya, Rupali was talking about parents and the relationship between the kids and the parents. What's your take? What's the role that a parent plays in developing emotional intelligence when we talk about kids? What's your take on that?
So, parents play a very, very important role, and there's no shying away from that, because the childhood is a very transformative and profound period. Okay, that's when the child is unconsciously picking up emotional patterns by role modeling their parents. Yeah. So it's not only in the later years, but also in the earlier years, we as parents, we're not aware, but we have to know that we are being observed, and children pick up by observing, whether it's conscious or whether it's unconscious. So not only later on, while we hold hands and co-create with them, as Rupali mentioned, and learn about it, but also in the childhood, when they're learning to talk, when they're learning to speak, more often you'll see children, either they want to be daddy or they want to be mommy, So it is unconscious or conscious, both ways. Their emotional patterns are being shaped from their parents, which actually goes on to prepare them for future or shape the future also, you can say it, So they are. So parents play a very, very important role. So two things. One is in the childhood, which is a very, very profound period. You've got to be very, very careful about how you are displaying your emotions because your children are learning from you. And two is as they learn to express their emotions, we partner with them to understand what they're trying to say and not brush it down under the carpet. More often when children fall and they cry, we say, hey, Matro, don't cry. You're a boy. Why you cry? I think let him cry. He's a boy. So what? Who said that the boys can't cry?
Correct.
So, these are little nuances that we want to talk about. And as we teach children, we also want to educate the parents.
Which is very, very crucial. The other day, I was speaking to a principal and then she was narrating some incidents on similar lines. And she was asking, so she went to one of the Zoom sessions and she ended up asking the kids as to what do you really want to become? And this boy, as she was narrating, said that, I want to become a great husband. And so the principal did not say anything in the session. And, after the session, she reached out to the teacher and said, the class teacher of the boy, that, the boy said so and figure out what is the situation because something feels wrong. If it was out of fun, okay, fine. But then the principal said that it was what she felt was that there was something else to it. And when the teacher had a conversation and this boy said, my father doesn't treat my mother well. And when I grow up, I would want to be a good husband so that, I can take care of my would-be wife. वो अलग बात है, वो ज़्यादा future में चला गया था. But then the point being, he got impacted and he got affected by the whole thing. And then you made another crucial point about, that kids are observing, early in the childhood, they're observing everything and whatever is happening around them. So the parents have to be really, really crucial about what they are doing. That's a profound point you mentioned. मुझे ना एक story याद आ गई. This young boy goes to the school and learns about traffic signals. Red means stop, green means go, and yellow means watch. He comes back home excited, tells his parents that मैंने आज signals के बारे में सीखा. So the mother says to the husband, why don't you take him to the nearby market, get some groceries, and let him experience the signals. So he sees that red, green, yellow. They come back home happily, and the same evening the family goes out to a wedding. They're returning midnight, and the boy sitting in the front seat, he tells Mama ki Mama piche baitho. I'm going to sit with Dad, and they're driving fast, and there's a red light. So the dad does not stop here, and he crosses through the signal, and the child is looking at him. Papa, abhi humne din mein to dekha tha red means stop. That's what my teacher said. And the boy laughs, and the father smiles, and he says, raat ko chalta hai. So the boy goes back to school the next morning and the teacher is revising the lesson plan. तो वो बच्चा कहता है कि मैम आपने तो मुझे सिर्फ दिन के रूल बताए थे, आपने रात के तो बताए नहीं. And the teacher is puzzled about what happened, and this boy narrates the whole story. And I immediately thought of this when you spoke about this is actually very true because the child is observing everything, and if the parents as role models, if they're setting up the role the wrong examples, the child is eventually picking that up. So very, very crucial. Now, when you talk about the emotional intelligence programs, I know that you do a lot of other things, and I'll get back to you, Rupali. Rupali, when you talk about these programs, tell us a little more about what other programs do you do?
So I just want to add to whatever you said, Kamalneet. One thing is that emotional intelligence, when you spoke about the child, who was like said, he doesn't want to be like the father, like he wants to be a good husband.
Yeah.
Are you seeing how he's impacted by what's happening in the house? And the parents probably are totally unaware of what unconsciously patterns the child is soaking in from the parents, And this is going to impact his life. And this is the pattern he's going to create when he's 20 years or when he's 30 years. So if you want to see what problems you're going to, you see a lot of people in their 20s and 30s, going through problems, just go back to the childhood. What they did in the childhood, your patterns unraveled there. So unconsciously, if I can say that Daniel Goleman says that the parent is the first emotional intelligence teacher of the child.
So that's powerful.
See how profound is the role.
Yeah,
I mean, and we cannot afford to mess this up, like we have to be like super on, we have to be that conscious parent.
That hit me hard.
Yes, I mean, it hits me hard too. It hits me hard too every time. I have two very strong-minded children. And, what I'm trying to say is that we should, instead of controlling them, You should first connect with them. And how do you connect? Connect via your emotions. You have to let go of the judgments and the fears and anxieties which we are holding, which we are unconsciously putting it on our children. We have this ambition for our children. They are not that ambitious as of now. So let them be,
It struck me very hard. The moment you said that, that the parent is the first emotional intelligence teacher, I'm thinking that, okay, what? So I'm the first teacher for my son, and I'm the first emotional intelligence teacher. But tell me something, there are people who end up doing programs on emotional intelligence. And so what is your USP, or what makes Motivo different from what I hear about other programs?
Well, as I said, that it is about it's just not like about an online program like what is available. You just go and buy the program. We are hand holding your child through this 5 weeks. Right. We are, as emotional intelligence coaches, we are assessing each activity that the child is doing. When we meet on a breakout session, we are, kind of encouraging peer learning. When we are, whatever the child sitting in Calcutta is doing, is connecting with the child in Mumbai and, having exchange of views. So what we're encouraging is peer learning too, all from the comfort of your home, And plus, beyond that, I think the activities, what we have created for each group, we have kind of, like for 6-year-old, there are different kind of activities. For a 12-year-old is a different kind of an activity. For a 17-year-old is a different kind of activity. So a lot of hard work has gone in this community. I
can vouch for that. Yeah, I can.
Yes.
I had the privilege to go through the the platform, the site, and understand the work, and then knowing, having a good understanding about you and knowing you guys, and I know that a lot of work has gone in. You've put in some real hard work. So now, there's one thing that I keep thinking, and let me put it out and say that when a child is struggling with emotions, when there is there is this wave of emotions going inside, right? Now, what would you recommend? Let's say when a child is going through emotions, and I heard Lydia saying that parents, they end up saying tu matro, ladke thodi na rote, and all of that. That's pretty. I don't want to use the word, but yeah, I'll tone it down. That's nonsense, actually. So now, what would you tell these parents? How should I put it? Okay, who would stop the kids from expressing their emotions? What advice would you have for them?
So if I can answer that, Lydia, you could probably add to that, because it's something very close to me.
Okay.
Emotion is something is very close to me, and I really want to talk about it. See, emotion is just a feeling. Let's not kind of make a hoo-ha about it. What is emotion? Over here, my child is emotional. Oh my God. What is an Indian parent thinking? Oh, it's a sign of weakness. Oh no, emotional, and let's not talk about it and all of that. No, it's just a feeling. Emotion is just a message. It has a purpose. It's trying to tell you that something needs to change. It's just a way of communicating. Right. This is like, it's a feeling, So if I'm feeling angry, so why am I feeling angry is what I need to do, instead of just going into reacting and all of that. So let the child say, Mom, I'm feeling angry. And you just have to sit with the child. You do not have to fix the child. Over here, the parents are somehow thinking, I am Mr. Fix It and I will fix the problem. No, the child just wants to be heard, because they are aware it's a feeling. It comes and it goes. So just rest with it. So if a child is feeling angry, you just said, okay, can we talk about it? And once when the child is talking about this, he's expressing his feelings, his level of anger will slowly start diminishing. At times, just talking about something is very therapeutic. But what we are told, hey, why are you angry? What is happening? We immediately react because we ourselves are not emotionally conscious. So how are we to teach our children? And I'm talking about me myself. I'm not any authority on this, because I do lose my anger with my children too. But when I go back into my room and I think like a conscious parent, I said, I could have handled it better. Let the child express his emotion. When you're sitting in a dining table, let them talk about how they're feeling. I feel sad. If they're crying, let them cry. You want to talk about it? Just let the child express his emotions. Emotions, there's nothing wrong with emotions. It's just a feeling. It's it's a communicator. Something which we're totally missing out here. I think I could add something to that. I don't know.
True. So the way I see this is that to all the parents watching this, right? There is a message for all the parents watching this, coming from Rupali and of course Lydia as well. Let your child express his or her emotions, irrespective of what emotions they are. See, if they're going to keep filling it up, it's going to be a burst one day, which might not be very supportive. So let them express their emotions, and then if you as a parent, if you don't know how to deal with it, there are people who can help you with that. At the same time, they say that agar aadhi baat bachan, if they're able to express themselves, half of the problem is well taken care of, and which is very crucial. Now, coming to you, Lydia, tell me one thing. कि बच्चों के लिए, I understand that developing emotions and learning about emotional intelligence is very crucial, and I come from a similar industry and I understand this. But tell me that what if let maybe this is for the parents, you can address it. Why do you think kids need to learn or understand about emotions at an early age? Because parents feel कि हाँ अभी तो बच्चा है, बड़ा हो जाएगा, सीख लेगा, and जिंदगी सिखा देगी and all of that. And you and I know that sometimes it gets late. We are late to catch the train, metaphorically, and it leads us in a different direction. So why should kids learn about this? What would you have to say about that?
So, Rupali started by giving a background to why we should do it early, because at that age, at that early age, the brain is being, managed. The brain is being trained to think in a particular manner. So that's the scientific reason why one should. But the practical reason is, if you teach your kids how to manage emotions, they will be able to create appropriate solutions. Okay. So they will know how to react or respond. A lot of times we end up reacting because we're not able to regulate our emotions instead of responding. So if you teach your kids about emotional intelligence, they can assess the situations, they will assess their own feelings, and accordingly, they will create a solution, an appropriate solution to that situation. So that's very important. So that helps in their own personal life. Also back in school, it is very, very important, because it during exams or even during normal classes, when the child gets anxious, the child will be able to regulate his or her anxiety. The child will be able to build relationship with the teachers, with his other classmates, which will ease his problem. The child will be able to express, will be able to go back and ask the teacher, to speak to the teacher, which the child will probably not be able to do if he's not so emotionally sound, or I would say if he's not able to regulate his emotions. So regulating emotions is so very important. The faster you learn it, the better it is, because in fact, if you go back now and if you go back to any corporate training, the one training that all the corporates are looking at is emotional intelligence. Why? Because nobody spoke about emotional intelligence in the yesteryears. If we had to train our children, or if we, all of us for that matter, had to get trained in emotional intelligence, then emotional intelligence in leadership would not have been required now. So most trainers are making their money by doing emotional intelligence in leadership programs. Okay. So that is why it is so important, because then people never knew about it. In fact, abroad, it has become a part of the curriculum, emotional intelligence. But in India, we're not still talking about it. And as you mentioned, two brave ladies have taken up the mantle to speak about emotional intelligence and to make people aware. At the same time, try and educate our children, make them aware, tell them that it is possible. Rupali mentioned it's a learning skill. You can keep learning, and the more you practice, the better you get at it.
That's powerful. In fact, I was smiling when you spoke about when you're preparing for an examination, and then your emotions are going, up and down. My times, I know that every time I would be appearing for a maths examination, I'll be like कि school बंद हो जाए, कुछ ऐसा हो जाए school में, कोई national holiday announce हो जाए. I would be praying for all of that. But I think that was not required. What was required was on my part to be able to regulate my emotions, and especially about maths examination. So I was pathetic at maths. I'll not get into it because I don't want to reveal my marks. And but you can probably guess.
In fact, now we have also tools and techniques how to help children, or for that matter, even us, to regulate our emotions. And if you feel anxious, what can we do? If you're feeling sad, how can we handle it? So there are various tools and techniques to now manage your emotions. So it's even more better now.
It's powerful. And, I'm very happy that whatever you have in your basket, all the goodies and the gems and all the tools that you have, that will be available to kids at an early age, which were not available to us. And happy for all the kids who have an access to this. I'm happy for the kids who will have an access to this, and to the parents who will be raising emotionally intelligent kids. And I'm very happy for both of you. My best wishes, and you have taken on a torch, and take it forward and make it available to as many kids as possible, because this will be a differentiator. This will be a differentiator in how they grow up. And my sincere wishes, my best wishes, make this world, make the classrooms emotionally intelligent, and that's what I pray for you. And thank you very much for your time. And it was
Thank
indeed
you so much, Kamalneet, for hosting us.
Thank
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much, and best wishes. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.